Hello there! Chunky Monkey 3001 here, and welcome along to episode number 7 of my Tekkit Let's Build series. Today we install the second class cabins, try out a new texture pack, and work on a new area of the ship. The hangar bay! How lovely! On with the show! So, at the end of the last episode, you'll remember I had a little bit of trouble getting the rooms at the far end of the ship, well, the front end of the ship, to actually illuminate. And Mr. Mercenary on YouTube very kindly pointed out why. I've made a ridiculously noobish mistake and incorporated MV and LV transformers on the MFSUs, as well as the rooms, which basically meant I had low voltage current running through to be transformed again into low voltage current to go to the luminators. And so, of course, low voltage degrades, well, all grades of power degrade at the same rate, I believe, but low voltage has less chance of getting to the end rooms, and so the ends didn't illuminate, and so on and so forth. Silly, ridiculous mistake, which has now been rectified. So in theory, as soon as I clicky on this here remote control, I can find the platform to stand on to watch everything, they should all illuminate at once. Fingers crossed. There they go. And we travel to the far end. There we go. All lit up nicely, as was originally planned, had I not made that stupid mistake. And just to illuminate that mistake, I've incorporated some of the edge lighting to the top deck here, which I'd previewed in the test world, and this is all running off of one low voltage line, this light blue line here. The red power cable in the back is the regular high voltage going to all of the rooms, and this light blue one is just servicing these illuminator panels on the edge of the deck here, and predictably enough they're all struggling to illuminate. And that's just illuminating one illuminator apiece instead of two, as per the rooms. So no wonder the rooms wouldn't light up properly. Oh, silly boy. Never mind. We live and learn. In fact, I'm going to switch them off again, because that's irritating me. So, yes, you may have noticed a little bit of an addition up here on the top deck. We now have second-class cabins. Haha, you'll notice that they're a lot larger than the third-class cabins, and also a little bit more plush. Lo and behold, we have colour. So, we have some wood panelling for the ceilings, some carpeting for the floor, a nice little light blue rug here. The bed has got some cool little wood step type things, which kind of make it look like some sort of Japanese futon bed. A little canopy over the top, a wonderful banner over there. And also we have nice coloured desk lamp and books and things, and yes, it's looking a lot nicer. Obviously you get a little bit more luxury for your buck, as it were. And I'm also going to be reversing the direction of every other cabin. So, complete mirror image of the other one here. So we'll have 2 cabin doors there, and then we move along, 2 cabin doors there, etc, etc. So each room is going to be adjoining. Well, not adjoining as in walking through indoors, but, oh well, you get what I mean. Anyway, so, now that those 2 are there, they'll act as a little template for the other couple of little second-class rooms down on that side of the ship. But my next task is to reproduce them over here, ready for MC editing. So, that's my next task. So, as I'd mentioned in the introduction, I'm also using a new texture pack, which I think has improved things greatly. Mr. Pony 345 had actually recommended a little while ago on my YouTube comments that I use a texture pack, and I was a little bit dubious, I've got to be honest. I've tried some texture packs before, including Sphax, although I think I'd tried a ridiculously over-the-top high-resolution one previously, which had completely destroyed... too severe? No, I think that's all right. Completely destroyed my frame rate. So that sort of scared me off a little bit. I'm running this 64 resolution texture pack, and it seems to be okay at the moment. There's a little bit of an effect on frame rate. But guys, please let me know if it's ruining the experience for you. I hope it's not. But so far, things are looking good. One thing I have noticed, though, is it makes these iron blocks look a little bit, perhaps a little bit too much industrial. I don't know. But let me know what you think. Is this an improvement? I think it is. It certainly makes all the red power stuff look a lot prettier. All of the bundled cables, I'll fly over and show you what I mean. All of the bundled cables and the repeaters and all that sort of stuff look a lot nicer. The MV and LV transformers were ridiculously confusing at first. I couldn't quite work out which end was which, but I've got all that sorted now. But I think it's a definite improvement. And the rooms especially look very nice. Which leads me on to my first big announcement for the server. I said before that there were a couple of very exciting developments. The first of which is I have some very capable help from my friend Mark, who has joined me on the server now. He actually designed this room. I basically designed the the walls. That's pretty much it. Laid them down for the rough size that I wanted for the second class cabin and started toying about with the position of the bed. And he said, well, let me have a go. And flew in and designed this wonderful looking cabin. Truly worthy of second class treatment, I believe. And yes, very pleased to have him on the server. He's been doing some very interesting work with a few systems. He's also taken the ideas that I had for the engine bay. We'll have a quick sweep down. Oops. For the engine bay. And expanded upon them. I'd originally said that I wanted to have some blue electric thermopile generators against the wall here, and also some engines at the back. I seem to remember waving furiously like that, saying, yes, they're going to be arching out here. And he actually has some very exciting engine designs. Very cool pyrotechnic special effects stuff that just looks and sounds awesome. I'll leave that to your imagination for now. And he's brought some working prototypes over to the server, and it's just all fantastic. But we're going to have a larger nuclear reactor here, still a sort of cylindrical shape, as indicated by this big plus sign. So that's going to go down to that floor level. 4 big bat boxes full of blue electric thermopiles, and then dual engines taking up the recess at the back there, and a few other systems dotted here and there. But yeah, he's going to be bringing a lot to the server, I feel. He's come up with some ideas which I couldn't possibly have imagined myself, so exciting times. Anyway, I'm going to finish off building the duplicate of those second class rooms over here. I shall MC editorize them all the way down the rest of the cabin, because it's basically the same process as the third class cabins that you've already seen, and then I'll get right back to you. One more little development which has happened, although I wouldn't exactly call it exciting, although I would call looking down at circuitry like this quite exciting. I don't know why that thrills me. It does. I know. I'm sad. Is that due to watching a couple of videos from the fantastic Direwolf 20, honestly guys, if you haven't heard of him or watched any of his series, look him up on YouTube. He is, in my opinion, the king of Minecraft and mod builds. But anyway, I digress. Ta-da! I now have a search box. It has returned to me, my lovely search box. Found out that there's actually an option. You watch this, but I can't find it. There we go. GUI scale. So you can have it ridiculously huge, automatic, small, normal, etc. And automatically set it to large, which meant that the search box fell off the bottom of the screen. But if I set it to normal, it leaves enough room for the search box. I am ever so pleased. Which means I can now do things like this. Yay! No more messing around with alchemy bags. Not for me, sir. No. Right, anyway. Slash V. Which means that I can now go back to doing things like this at ease, without fishing around for ages through pages and pages of inventory. Oh, it's the wrong colour. So all of the second class rooms have now been installed, all been copied and pasted all the way down. So we now have 2, 4, 6, 12 second class cabins on board the ship to go with the 48 third class. Although I may be adding more third class. I'm yet to decide. Perhaps a couple more per deck, per side, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, let's switch the lights on. Click here. I don't think that I could ever get bored of seeing that. I just think that's cool. You may notice I've slightly rearranged the power arrangements. There's now glass fibre cable going down through all 3 of the inhabited decks, joining to one cable down to a small array down here. So here's some MFSUs. Here we've got a generator. This is something that my friend Mark has introduced me to, and was also pointed out on the YouTube comments that it's not really cheating. Using equivalent exchange and gathering EMC from objects to generate things out of thin air. They do it on Star Trek with replicators, so why not here? And I like that excuse. But yes, we have, click here, an infinite supply of redstone ore being produced by the, what are they called now? Not relays. What feeds the relays? Well, these... no, it doesn't say that. These things, anyway. Collectors, that's the one. Feeds into the relay, which feeds into a condenser chest, producing redstone ore, which I was told, and works beautifully, is used by the MFSUs to generate power. So there we have an infinite power source. Obviously not as efficient as a nuclear reactor, and I will still be using a nuclear reactor for the main power source for the ship for all the lighting, but just for testing purposes this works quite nicely. Could also be used as a emergency backup. Switch that off. Yes, so... Oh, did I just switch that back on? Yes, I did, didn't I? That was silly. Oop! Lag. There we go. Switched it back off again now. I've also had a little bit of a tidy up. There was still a temporary lighting gantry running all the way down here to this nuclear reactor, and also the lighting gantries at the back I have removed, so pop, pop, pop. Punched a hole in the floor. That was silly. Let's just patch that quickly. Hoopah, there we go. Yes, so anyway, oh, good grief, I've got a lot of rubbish here. Let's get rid of all of this rubbish, silly rubbishness. There we go. I didn't want to do that. There we go. That's the one. Right. So, everything's illuminated and lovely. Let's have a little look inside the second class cabin, and I'll explain a little bit about the interior. Because I didn't really explain it before. So you walk in, it's all nice and lovely and flashy. It's just basically using the small blocks provided by Red Power to make things look a little bit funky. These are just wall panels, wall covers, wall cover strips, cover corners. These here are wood panels and wooden slab corners joined together around the bed there to make it look all fancy, and all little bits cobbled here and there, but it all looks rather nice. And I've used indigo flowers. The only reason that I've used indigo flowers is we'd originally planned to use saplings to add a little bit of plant life to the room. Unfortunately, we found that every time the lights go out, they die, as do yellow flowers and red roses. The only things that survive in these pots are indigo flowers and mushrooms. Didn't fancy mushrooms, so indigo we go. Yes. So, that's that dealt with. First class cabins I'm going to leave for a future episode, and you'll see why when we get there. But yes, I think it's time that we left the cabins for now, And I won't put the railings on or the end of the decks here until we've got the computers all sorted, which won't be for a little while yet, so leave them a little bit open and rough and ready for the time being. But yes, I feel it's a good time to move on to the next phase of the project. So first things first, I need to size up the opening for the actual hangar doors. So from there to there, let's just illuminate those and see what sort of space that leaves us. Right, how far back can we go? I'm wondering whether I should also perhaps drop this floor another block. Yeah, I think I will, because, let's see. Yeah, I think this lower lip here, those blocks behind, will be the lowest level of the opening. So I want to drop this floor down one more block. So let's do that first of all. The tool we need is set. I would like the material to be iron, so set the voxel to what I'm looking at, iron block, and I'd like it to go, we might as well go all the way actually. So, I will use the arrow for this. I will go from here to I can get rid of that floor above, it's not being used for anything. So I want this level, I'll take it up to... Yeah! Smashing. Yes, that looks good to me. Let it all load in quite nicely. Here we go. And then, same sort of procedure, except with air for the old floor, from that corner to that corner, and we should drop a block. There we go. Wonderful stuff. We have our hangar bay floor. Now, using this same tool, setting an area with air selected, do you know what? I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to knock a hole in the side of the ship. Why not? So, let's go from here to yeah, that's wide enough. There to there. Well, now it's a dramatic bit of that's a dramatic bit of renovation. Wow, that's quite a nice view. My word, that actually has quite a cool effect. Ooh, where's that light coming from? How strange. That is a big old hangar bay. Why not just place lighting straight against the solid ceiling blocks that are already there, and then cover the whole thing with construction foam? There we go, job done. Instead of taking 2 blocks, only taking up 1. We've got all the lighting that we need, although it doesn't hit the floor, so I'm going to have an underfloor lighting as well. But then I'll probably just have a construction foam floor as well. That hardens up, it's paintable. I'm thinking of having this room sort of a nice, what's the word? Sterile, there we go. A nice sterile white colour. Ooh, that one's hardened black. How curious. Yeah, and it'll all look very nice and bright and shiny and lovely. And I'll probably do the same for the walls as well. Yes, we'll see how it turns out. Da! Bing! There we go. And last ones go in there, and there. Fantastic. Right. Let me get my nozzle out. Alright, we now have the makings of quite a nice looking ceiling. It's all beginning to dry quite rapidly now. The ceiling has now dried off quite nicely. There were a few more blocks of drying construction foam here and there, and I've since logged off of the server and back on, and they seem to have disappeared. It seems that if they haven't dried before you leave, they vanish in the meantime, but no matter, not a problem. Right, so, as I said before, I need to do the same for the deck below. So I'm thinking the best thing for me to do would be to make another floor beneath this one of a completely different material so that it stands out. Possibly glowstone. Why not? We'll paste that underneath, remove this layer of floor, coat it with construction foam, and then remove the glowstone afterwards. So, let's get my trusty hand. Oh, yes, and another thing. For some reason, when I logged off and back on, all of the black stripes disappeared, which I thought a little bit unusual. Looks like the construction foam turning black when it hardens around cables was actually a fluke. And the relog has reset them, but never mind, not a problem. So, I need my handy dandy little tools. Let me fetch my arrow. Yeah, we'll get rid of the paint for now. That is my arrow and my gump. Yes, lovely gump. Right, so as I set the tools. Oh, that didn't work. There we go. /B set to set an area and set the voxel to glowstone. Okay, so I'll go from the outside of the I almost made a very, very foolish mistake. I need to set using a material replacer. Okay, so voxel set to 89, replace material set to air. That's what we want. And we'll go from there, just to be on the safe side, to all the way over there. Tasty. Fantastic. I want to have my voxel set as air, and let's go from here to yeah. Ta-da! God, looked like lava then. That was a bit scary for a moment. Right, good. Good. Horrifically ugly, but good. So, I shall place down some cabling and some lights. Just mark out where the illuminators are going to go. I shall get all that funky business done and get right back to you. So, I was just about to embark on doing this the hard way, actually manually placing everything throughout the entire bay, when I thought, well, I'll give my old friend the copy-paster a bit of a go. And much to my amusement, as you can see here, and my relief, so I don't have to copy and paste everything, although I wish I'd known this when I was placing the lights on the ceiling, which have now died out, copy-paster actually works. Ta-da! Bosh! 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 And bosh! There we go. One complete lighting system. How's about that then? All of the flooring has now dried, and I've removed the glowstone layer, which had the unforeseen side effect of drying the floor very quickly, because of course construction foam dries the brighter it is. So that worked quite nicely. Again, no black lines, but I might paint those back on. We'll see. See what happens. I've also sort of penciled in glowstone the approximate location of the control room. On Mark's suggestion, I think it might be a quarter sphere. So attaches to the ceiling in a semicircular fashion like that, but also arches down in a circular sort of motion. Well, you know, a quarter of a sphere. That's a quarter sphere of glass with a platform inside for the control room. so we can see everything that's going on. And yeah, I think that'd work better. Certainly that would work better than the control room in the middle that I thought, because that'll just get in the way. Get in the way of what? Well, that's my other exciting piece of news. We now have shuttles. Yes, I know this doesn't look particularly like a shuttle, but I now have a plugin installed which allows you to fly basic craft. We have autocraft installed, and with a simple command /AC pilot the transport. Ta-da! Movable, flyable craft. Yeah, it's a little bit jerky. It relocates the blocks making up the actual craft itself, one block at a time, or a little bit faster if you get particularly clicky, like so. You can accelerate. You can graphical glitching. There we go. We'll find a workaround for that. That's fine. You can also turn /AC turn right. It's a little bit disorienting, but it does work. Alright, go away, Ghostcraft. Yes, so we now have the ability to fly. Let's go a few blocks out. There we are, spin her around 180. Yeah, there we are. Isn't that lovely? Yeah, on approach to hangar bay 0. Yeah, inbound to the Starliner. Out of the way, ghost ship. You have no business here. Let's hold down the right mouse button and see what happens. Oh, yep. It's a bit glitchy. It's a little bit laggy, but it's a start. Hop on out. So we have our first shuttlecraft. Begone. Vile fake ships. Yeah, it does cause a bit of lag, but it is a start. It is a pilotable spacecraft of sorts. So now the hangar bay isn't just for show. It actually has a purpose. I'm going to end the episode there. Next time I'm going to work a little bit more on this hangar bay, put in some force field systems, and put in a couple of walls as well. We can't have it exposed like this. Looks cheap and nasty. And possibly get to work on the control room as well. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, for now, thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to follow on with the rest of the build and you haven't done so already, then click subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a like, or you care to leave a comment, then please do so in the usual way. I have been, and I'm determined to continue to be, Chunky Monkey 3001. And once again, I thank you. See you next time.